Okie doke. So, welcome to Qigong. So this evening we're going to work primarily with the lungs, and in Chinese medicine the lungs are called the commander of the Qi. So if you think about it, when we arrive on the planet we take our first breath and our life begins, and when we leave we have our last breath, and in between is our life. And so it's very important that we get comfortable with the breath. So the word Qi in the old days, one of the meanings of Qi was actually breath. So Qigong was becoming skillful at working with the breath. Now we say that the nervous system eavesdrops on the breath. So the breath is fast. We can get, sympathetic nervous system. Breath is slow and deep. We go more into parasympathetic nervous system. And we can manipulate this. And this is why breathing has become so much in focus these days, is because there's so much stress around. Not that there wasn't always stress, it was just different stress. But we can change that stress into relaxation by changing the way we breathe, by being attentive to the way we breathe. What did I want to say? Yeah. So we're thinking about the breath, and the breath, we breathe in with the lungs, and the lungs are inside a rib cage, and the rib cage is very strong and protective of these lungs, because we only stay alive if our lungs are actually working. If our rib cage becomes very tight, the joints are really tight, we can't expand. And if the muscles or our posture is very sort of forward and round, we also can't expand. So it's important that we have a flexible rib cage and a good open posture. So when we think about the lungs can only expand and compress depending on the pressures in the rib cage. So breathing is not an active thing by the lungs, it's activated by the muscles. So the muscles that are breathing for us, the diaphragm's moving down, making much bigger space in the rib cage here. And when we breathe out, the diaphragm goes back up and makes the space smaller, which pushes the air out again. But we've also got all our intercostal muscles between each of the ribs. So if the diaphragm goes down and opens the chest that way, the intercostal muscles open the chest towards the side and upwards. So we're having this expansion vertically, but an expansion horizontally as well. So when we have long, slow, deep, then we bring in about 1 liter of oxygen. If we just breathe here, we're just sitting around, or we're very tense, we get about 1 cup of oxygen, because when we sit around, we don't need 1 liter of oxygen. But when we're running around and very active, we do. But if we breathe belly first and then up into the chest, we get the liter plus some more up here. So that's a very long, deep breath, and with a lot of air coming in, and air equals energy. So the quickest way we can get energy is to breathe. Right, so let's look at this active breathing and the muscles and the fascia and the joints that are involved in it. And we're going to start with an active myofascial release technique, which is called heart opening and praying mantis. So we're thinking about the white tissue that goes across the joints, that surrounds the nerves, surrounds the muscles, runs through the muscle. And it's not very elastic, but it does have some elasticity. So we talk about the superficial, so the most superficial fascial line over there in front, and we think about the fascial line coming from the spine all the way past the shoulder blades and then down to the back of the arm. In acupuncture terms, this is your yin side, this is your yang side. So get into your Tai Chi Qigong posture. So soften your ankles, your knees, drop your tailbone down. Long spine, tuck your chin slightly in if your head lifted up. And we're going to lead with the fingers. So coming out, turn your fingers to the side and open up. Soft shoulders. So you open up, but you keep your arms in line with your trunk. So we don't want you to go behind. Once you do that, you actually tighten between the shoulder blades, and you lose the strength of the Qigong posture is wide open. So in Chinese terms, they talk about song, and song means to create space in the body or expand. Okay, so what are we doing here? We're stretching through the pectoral muscles, your biceps, flexors of the arm, and through to the fingers, and go till you feel there's a little bit of tension coming into the arm now. It's not like you're going, it's not 100%. It's just go, if you were taking a piece of cling wrap or plastic and you were just stretching it, so you started getting those little ripples in. You could go a bit further, but you've got the ripples in. So get to that position. And if we're stretching fascia, you want 30 to 90 seconds to stretch it. So we'll do a couple of breaths while we're here. So just in and out through the nose, relaxed, holding this barrier to your stretch. We could go further, but we can feel that we've started to take the slack out. And you'll know when you're ready to increase that stretch because you'll feel a bit of warmth in your arms, a bit of tingling in your hands. What we're doing here as well is we are increasing the bioelectricity of our body because the fascia conducts a lot of the bioelectricity through our body. Okay, so we've got a little bit of warmth coming through there, in through the nose, out through the nose, and see if you can open up even more, making more space for the lungs, making more space for the heart there. Breathe out, and now your fingers curl forwards, and now we're going to do praying mantis. So we're going to open the superficial back line, so we're taking our hands, so they're coming into a little shoulder nest over here. We want them to stretch between the shoulder and the elbow. So opening up the back posterior capsule of the shoulder joint there, pushing your arms forwards, and at the same time, you've got your normal curve at the back, but you're opening up here, getting a roundingness on the back of the chest there, and drop your head a little bit there. So this is called praying mantis. Stretching through your rhomboids, through your infraspinatus scapular muscles, through your triceps, through the extensors of the hand. Again, feeling a warmth between the shoulder blades, feeling a warmth behind the shoulders, maybe even a bit of warmth coming in your neck there. And just breathe easy and relaxed for 30 seconds. Take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, see if you can push your elbows slightly forwards, get some opening in your shoulders, opening between the shoulder blades, and relax, come up, and out we go again. So fingers leading the way, opening up, bring your wrists back, opening your fingers. So you're opening the length of your body, but also the width of your body there. Feel for that position where you can just feel the tension coming through the fascia there. Easy breathing, holding that position. Soft knees, dropping your tailbone. We're also stretching the pericardium meridian and the heart meridian here. Allow your shoulders to be soft. Maybe bring your wrists back a little bit more. Deep breath in through the nose as you breathe out through the mouth. Extend, open your shoulders, open your elbows, open your wrists, open your fingers. Curl your fingers forwards, wrist forwards, elbows coming forwards. Open it between shoulder blades behind, hands into shoulder nest in front. Drop your head forwards and try and push your elbows away from your body. Opening the fascia at the back. feeling the warmth come behind your shoulder blades and down into the arms. Taking a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, pushing your elbows away from your body, making space behind the shoulders, space between your spine and your scapula, and slowly come up. Oh, and one more here. Fingers leading the way, turn to the side, open, open, open. You may feel there's already a little bit more space for the lungs and the heart there. Bring your wrist back, shoulders down, head lifted up, tailbone sinking down, creating song, creating space in the body. And Qigong is a lot about creating space in the body. Right, feeling a bit of warmth there, a bit of tingling there. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and open even more. Lengthen your arms, open your wrists, open your elbows, pull your fingers back. At the same time, you're long between your sacrum and your head. And then fingers curl forwards, wrists come forwards. Open between your shoulder blades, let your elbows stretch forwards. Drop your head, and praying mantis. Feel the warmth coming through the back of the shoulders. If you're not feeling any warmth or tingling, you probably need to stretch a little bit further till you do. Deep breath in, breathe out, and push your elbows forwards. Feel more opening between your shoulder blades at the back, and relax and come up. Oh, goody. So there we're working on the relatively inelastic fascia. Okay, let's go into holding up the sky. So lung flow, starting holding a ball down here, soft knees, soft ankles. And when you do this, you can think about your way of breathing, that as you're breathing in, you're breathing into the belly and then the ribs and the chest. If it's distracting for you, don't worry about it. It will come naturally. So breathing in, floating your hands up till you hold up the sky. So hands facing the sky and fingers facing each other, and see that your arms are in line with your body and not forwards. Coming down, spiraling as you go past your clavicles and down. And you bend your knees a tiny bit as you come down. So let's breathe in and out through the nose. Again, we're working on the mechanics of the breath here. We're getting space between the ribs, allowing a nice flexibility of the joints, where the ribs attach to the spine, but also where they're attached to the sternum. And also allowing those intercostal muscles to range of motion there as well. And down, so in and out through the nose. So as you get to the end of the inhale, hold your breath or pause the breath there for a couple of seconds, and then breathe out. And at the end of your exhale, pause the breath again. So as the breath is still, so your mind is also still. And what we know is that when we hold our breath, we get a much bigger circulation into the brain. Obviously not for too long, okay, but relatively it's very good for the flexibility of breathing to be able to hold your breath for a while. And the long, slow, and deep breathing is really good, because what we know is that when we're very, very stressed, then our immunity goes down. And the lungs in Chinese medicine are responsible for the health of the respiration, but also for your immunity. Your immunity as in the strength of your defense system to avoid disease or dis-ease. So maybe what has happened and you developed flu or a lung condition of any sort, it could be that you were out in the cold. So yes, I did swim in freezing cold water the day before I got sick, but also sadness and grief is another thing that weakens the lungs. So I definitely had a bit of that as well. And so you're wanting to strengthen that system as well. The other thing that the lungs is in charge of in Chinese medicine is the health of the skin. So if you have skin rashes, psoriasis, any kind of strange skin stuff, it's very often related to a weakness of the lung system. Breathing in. Now this time come up. One hand stays up, hold sky, and the other hand goes down and pushing mountain. So we pushing mountain, holding sky, and we're kind of living in between. So in this position, over to the side and open up the lungs on the stretch side, making space for the intercostal muscles. Let them get a nice length on there, come back. Spiral your hands, little fingers coming past each other as you swap over to the other side, and over you go. Again, try and keep your arm not in front, but slightly behind. I have to watch that as well. Coming back. So as you spiral, you can bend your knees a little bit. As you straighten up, go over to the side. Also be in and out through the nose. Bend down as you spiral. Push mountain, hold sky. Come back to the center, and now your one hand's going to go past your head, so you're going to squeeze the bottom of the lungs here. Any old air, you're going to breathe out. So here you want to breathe out through your mouth. Come back to center, breathe in. Breathe out, push away, look behind you, and squeeze that last bit of air out. Breathe in, come to center. Breathe out. Moving slowly. One of the things about Qigong is we can say it's a moving meditation. So if you don't get enough time to sit and meditate, you can just do a little bit of Qigong, nice and slowly. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Coming back to center. Clasp your hands together and take a breath in into the belly. Breathe out and push your hands forwards and round your back. Round your back, so we get movement between the joints where the ribs join onto the little facet joints, the little side joints of the spine. Come back in through the nose, out through the mouth. Clear that as well. Breathe in. We forget that our lungs go all the way to the back of our body and the sides. It's not just in front. Breathe in. And now up to the sky. So hands facing the sky. Open your shoulders. The shoulders should be lovely and open now after you've done that active myofascial release. Should feel quite nice and soft. And as you breathe out, really squish all the old air out. All of it. Breathe in. We've got that little 25% tidal volume that doesn't often change. So all of it gone. Like getting the last bit of air out of a balloon, or if you've got a camping mattress that you've blown up and you're trying to get that last bit of air out. Breathing in and breathing out. One more. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good. Hands on your shoulders. And just rooster extending his wings. So mobilizing the shoulders, but we're also mobilizing your big pectoral muscle, which then runs into your abdominal obliques on the other side. So if our stomach muscles are not fit and working well, that also affects our breathing. If you need to do a whole lot of coughing, you need your abdominal muscles to be strong enough to do that for you. So a lot of older people that are really, really weak when the abdominals, they really battle when they have respiratory conditions because they can't cough. Other way around, round, round. And just shake it out. All right, Qi massage. Qi massage, very, very useful. You can even just run your fingers up and down either side of the sternum here where the ribs join on. Then you can actually sort of feel that little ladder of ribs coming down, or you can feel into each little intercostal space. Feel if those muscles are soft and happy there just with your fingers. And certainly if you've got any tension here, emotional tension sits here as well. So if you've got a lot of emotional tension, come and work in here. It's also, we're over the kidney meridian here. And we also know what the lungs, they help with the water metabolism as well, because every time we breathe out, we're breathing out water vapor. So if you've got deficient kidney and you're not processing the water that well, and you've got deficient lungs, then you're really, really in bad shape. And then your body really starts swelling up. So it's very, very important that your lungs are working well to work with the water metabolism as well. You could also, if you have a lot of phlegm on the chest, you could do a whole lot of bashing here. It's going to ease up your breathing and it's going to move that phlegm, especially if it's in the upper lobes here. And have deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just a little knocking underneath your collarbone here. You're going to be over the first and second ribs there. And they can be quite tight. Other side. And then if we come into that shoulder nest, that little hollow there, between the first and the second rib, that's the alarm point of the lung. So if you come in here and these muscles are really, really tender, then you know, gee, I better do some work with my lung. And I actually felt these before I started, and they were very tender, and they're already a little bit of better just with the stretching and breathing we've been doing here. So lung 1 and 2. So if you've got a bit of chest problems, you can massage it and then just come down the arm, because the lung meridian is coming down the front of the arm, ending on the side of the nail of the thumb. Okay, rubbing to massage there, and then just slowly. Then we want to come to the elbow, bend your elbow, and where that crease comes, it's called a pond. We can come in and we can do a little chicken beak peck over there, or you can do a massage with your thumb. And this is large intestine 11. So large intestine and the lung are paired meridians. Okay, so the lung comes down here, comes up here, and the large intestine goes down there. So large intestine 4 coming all the way up and ending on the nose, which will be a good point for sinus over there, okay? So this is one of the strongest immune enhancing or defense system enhancing points in the body. So if you're sick and you're not getting better, but if you're starting to feel sick, you come and work here anyway. A nice massage there at the side of the elbow. Let's do one on the other side. Bend your elbow and coming in here. Also very good for allergies. So if you've got sinus, things like that, you can use this point as well. And then come down 3 fingers above the wrist crease, in between your radius and your ulnar there. And again, you can do a little chicken pecks there, or you can just massage there. And this is actually triple heat of 5. And remember that these are the outer gates of your arm. And this controls the physical immunity, the strength of the physical immunity of your body. Okay, so if you're getting sick frequently or you're not getting better, you want to come and work in here. So with my cold coming in, I want to work here, I want to work here. If you think there's an emotional aspect to your getting sick, or there's been a bit of sadness which could work with the lungs or emotional stuff, then you want to work in the inner gate as well, because this is your psychological immunity point. It's very good for nausea, but it's also very good for any grief or sadness. So you come and work here as well. So as I say, if you say, no, it's not just because I was swimming, you know, when it was 4 degrees and there's snow on the mountain, it's because actually there was stuff going on, emotional stuff going on as well. Then you would do both of them. Okay, good. Right. So we're thinking now a little bit more in terms of we thought of the fascia, we thought of the muscles, we thought of the bony joints. Let's think of the meridians. So we started with meridians. So let's open and get flowing along the meridian. We're going to do it with great bear swims in the ocean. So our out breath is forward. So we're going forwards with the out breath. And then you're spiraling right around and you tuck your tailbone in as you come up. As we're going along here, we're doing tiger mouth here. So we're stretching the large intestine meridian there. As we go forwards, we're stretching the lung meridian. Not just stretching, but we're activating flow. We're encouraging a good flow in these 2 meridians. So let's breathe in, breathe out. And bottom goes back, sink into a squat position, spiral around, and up you come. Breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in as you spiral around. Breathe out. So as we strengthen up the lung, we go from a sort of low level lung function where there's possibly depression or sadness, and we go towards inspiration and courage. Okay, so inspiration, it's where it gets its name from, is to be able to breathe easily and strongly and freely. Strong lungs give us lightness, levitas, give us an expanded vision, give us courage. So those are things we need if we're sick or if you've got issues and problems. Can really turn things around. Breathing in, tuck your tailbone and feel how your whole spine extends, and then allow your tailbone to tuck in as you go forwards. So this is very good for your knees, your hips, and your low back. Breathe out. Breathe in. Out. In, looking from the side. Breathe out. In. Imagine that you're a great bear swimming through the ocean, going to the rivers where the salmon are. Feel the strength in your body. Okie dokes. And we're going to do just an easy shake. And as you shake, we're going to do the 3 lung sounds. So the first one is the audible sound, which is the S sound, which is let's do 3 of them. Feel your ribs rattling there. One more. So I think of it like the rib cage and muscles and everything else. And then we're going to go into the whisper sound. So the whisper sound is a Z sound. And we're going to feel the actual lung tissue vibrating with the rhythm of that sound. So and breathe in. And one more. And the last one is called the mysterious sound. And you're going to make the S sound, but just in your mind, nowhere else, okay? And that supposedly affects the emotional or the more spiritual part of the lung energy. So to have 3 of those in your own time. The S, but silently. Relax. Let's go into flying. So we start with wrists cross. Just bring your arms up as far as shoulder height and down. Feel that your arms are floating up, or your wings are floating up on the breath, floating down on the breath. Feel your elbows, then your hands come, elbows dropping first, then your hands. Slow it down. Feel the lightness of the movement. In and out through the nose. Standing taller, bending your knees as you come down, come back to that wrist cross position. And once you've got your balance up there, you can come onto your toes as you come to the level of the shoulders, and then your heels come down again. Feeling the lightness, the levity, increased perspective of life with the distant vision that you get with the lung. Coming right up to stretch your wings right up. Open through the shoulders. As you come down, when you get to shoulder height, pop one foot behind you. Bring your weight onto the front leg. Bring your body down and fly. Wrist cross again and up. And you can feel as if you're looking down. Maybe you're flying over the valleys. Maybe you're flying over the seas. In and out through the nose. Bring the other foot in. Off we go up, stretch again. If you've got brilliant balance when you do that exercise, you can have your back leg off the ground. Maybe Eric might be able to do that. Coming down. Opposite leg goes behind. Weight onto the front knee. Bend at the waist and fly. Bring your foot forwards. Let's do one more. Each leg up, up, up. Lengthen through the shoulders, open through the shoulders, drop your tailbone down. Coming down, shoulder height, leg behind, weight in the front, hinge at the hips there, and off you go, flying. If you closed your eyes, really test your balance, but I think it's probably not a good idea to close your eyes while you're flying. Might be a bit of traffic up there. In and out through the nose. Feel the lightness of your wings. Feel the freedom. That's one thing working with the lung, you start to feel the freedom of the breath. That's what we're looking for. Being comfortable with the breath. Flexibility of the breath. Coming back. Last one up. Drop your tailbone, lengthen your spine. Open your shoulders. Coming down. Foot behind. Bend your front knee, put the weight over it. Feel how your wrists cross as you come in, opening. Soft feathers, the fingers. Bring your front foot forwards and hold the ball. So we call this the lower tree position, and it's the standing position for the lungs. Soften your ankles, soften your knees. And your arms are not close to you, they're a little bit out there, actually facing up towards the lungs. And close your eyes, we're going to lung standing position. Feel your breath going into your belly, just long, slow, and deep. So just settling into that position. Light focus on the breath in and out. Just visualize where your lungs are. Have a 3D vision of your lungs. So feel your lungs behind the front of the ribs. And then be aware of your lungs at the side of ribs, inside the side of the ribs. Maybe as you breathe, you can actually feel the expansion of the sides of your ribs there as well. And then be aware of your lungs in the back of your rib cage. So they're in front of the back ribs there. And as you're breathing, maybe you can become aware that you're actually breathing to expand your lungs in front and at the side and at the back as well as expanding down. So as your diaphragm drops down, opening the chest, the breath is helping to massage all the abdominal organs. So being aware of your lungs. So the color of the lungs for healing the lungs is pearly white. So imagine your lungs pearly white, shiny white. If you feel any kind of grayness in any area of the lungs, as you breathe out, just have a sense that you're breathing out the grayness and you're pulling in, allowing that pearly white to spread to the whole lungs, whole area of the lungs. And then feel that white light spreading, so the lung energy spreads throughout your whole body, going down the arms, up your spine to your head, down through your pelvis, your hips, into your legs, your toes. Let's feel that there's a white haze all around your body. strengthening the lungs to be inspired, be courageous, have levity in your life, expanded vision, and smile to your lungs, makes them stronger. Bring your hands over onto your belly. You can open your eyes and just let's do a little bit of breathing down into the belly. Feeling the freedom of the breath, ease of breathing here. The nervous system eavesdropping and say, hey, life is feeling quite good, quite relaxed. That's nice. And let's just pull down the heavens, so stretching out, feeling gravity, opening up to nature on either side of you, and then opening up to the universe. That's the yang part, and just pulling down the energy as if you're combing through your energy field, just making sure that everything is happy and flexible, energized. Sometimes we've got a really, really thick bioelectric field around us, and we want it to be nice and bouncy and lively. And so we're really feeling our Wei Qi. When our Wei Qi is strong, this field of immunity, then we don't get sick so easily, but also we don't get knocked sideways emotionally too easily. And our decisions are generally a little bit wiser. And sometimes when we're short of energy, there's a lot of energy outside there in nature that you can bring into your own biomagnetic field. That's why we go into nature, into forests and seas and mountains, just to recharge, and we literally do. Just do one more, breathing in, feel gravity. Feel the openness of nature, and feel the energy of the stars and the other universes up there. Come down, pop your hands over your belly. Put your feet together, and you just stand in wind and bamboo. Just allow your body to rock and sway and just settle down. The energy that we've worked with. Soften your knees, soften your jaw muscles, soften between your eyebrows, back of your head. Notice the temperature around you, touch of your clothes on your skin, and how your weight shifts from one foot to the other. Just take a nice, long, slow, deep breath. And open your eyes. Thank you for doing Qigong for the lungs with me.